Travis Watkins, tax resolution and accounting firm, is with us. We're actually talking with Travis. My next question is on this. You had mentioned off the top, everything's changing at a rapid pace, not only our news cycle, but the information that's coming in to you. How difficult has it been for you to wrap your arms around all of this with the rapid moving changes that are happening right now?
Well, I've got a pretty good network here of folks that do kind of the same things that I do. So we're staying pretty close to the actual practitioners that are working these things. But there is a lot of misinformation floating around out there, rumors and whatnot, especially as it relates to the small business provisions in the CARES Act. And that might be a good transition to start talking about those now, because it's actually the one where there's the most like head scratching going on at this moment.
Yeah, so describe what you know about that, because you're right. Every single day I have an email from someone that's asking about this aspect of it. If you're emailing the wrong person. So what can you explain to the listeners out there about what we're seeing on these forgivable loans to small businesses?
Yeah, you bet. Well, there's two types of loans that are going to be available for small business owners and self-employed people. The first one is already in place. It is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, or EIDL loan. It is administered directly from the Small Business Administration on its clunky government website. The second type of loan that is going to be available in the coming days, and we're thinking like maybe this week, maybe early next week, is what's called the Paycheck Protection Program. And that is the forgivable loan, as you mentioned, that would be available to small business owners. And that's going to be administered straight through private banks. And they must be SBA approved private banks. And we're hearing I've talked to many bankers in the last couple of days. Banks, community banks, are getting approved like no other quickly in this thing. There didn't used to be a whole lot of SBA. They're called 7A approved banks. Now just about every community bank is getting the nod to go ahead and administer these things, but it's not out yet. Everybody's in the banking world is preparing for these loans coming down the pipe, but they're not ready to take them yet. If you have a local bank and you can get some information that they will be offering that, you definitely want to get on the waiting list for that. My firm is helping out with both of these types of things. We can talk about that in just a minute, but it is kind of a clunky process as far as the applications, and a lot of unknown, especially as to that Paycheck Protection Program, the forgivable loan. So let me circle back here, if you don't mind, and kind of hit just a couple of things on both of these loans, so you kind of know what's what. But we're recommending that every business owner out there, if you've got employees, to go ahead and apply for both of these loans. You can apply for both. You cannot ultimately get money from both. But we would recommend that you go ahead and apply for both. Start with this EIDL loan through the Small Business Administration. Their website has all the information there to get started. We would recommend that you use a tax professional or someone who deals with bureaucratic processes every day, because beyond the initial application of this thing, we're anticipating a lot of red tape and bureaucracy, because with this one in particular, they want to get paid back for this loan. So you can imagine the paperwork storm that they're going to want ultimately once this thing goes through. But the general process on this thing, they're going to take an application from you, ask you a few questions on it, and ask for 3 years of tax returns there. They're going to run your credit, and if all those things go through okay, they will go ahead and start processing this, and you get $10,000 right up front within 72 hours to keep yourself, up and running while they process the rest of this thing. And everybody asks me, well, what if I don't end up getting an SBA emergency disaster loan? Do I have to pay back that $10,000? And the answer is no. They are not going to make you pay that back. It is basically free money while they do the processing on these types of loans. Big picture on this is you can qualify for up to 50% of your gross profits as a business for this type of emergency quick loan process. So that's good news. And the other good news is that you can spend it on anything business related. Okay, there's no strings attached to this, so you can use it on anything to stay alive, and that's a huge deal. The terms are 3.75% over 30 years, so pretty favorable even as just a straight business loan. All right, people that don't qualify for this are sole proprietors, unfortunately, marijuana businesses, farmers, ranchers, and churches, and anybody over 500 employees, which is only about 5% of America at this point.
Right.
So that's the first one. Get on the stick. Give us a call, 918-268-7190 to get started with that process. You can also fill out a quick form on SBA helplaw.com is our website there, and we'll call you back and start a strategy session with you for free for 30 minutes to get you rolling on that one. All right. The second type of loan that's going to be available here, that Paycheck Protection Program. Everybody wants to know about that one. There's not much to know yet other than it's going to be done through local banks, but that one will have a forgivable component to it. What they're going to do is look at 12 months of your payroll, 12 months of what you paid people in your business. They're going to take that number times 2.5% or 2.5, double and a half of what you paid everybody last year, and that would be the amount of your loan. And so long as you spend that funding on payroll, utilities, rent, and mortgage interest, those whatever 4 things, that money that you spend is going to be forgivable. You don't have to pay it back. Anything else that you spend it on, you got to pay it back over 10 years at 4% interest. All right. So finding out more about that second one, the forgivable one that everybody wants to know about, minute by minute, but for sure apply for both. Start with the EIDL loan. Give us a call or get on SBAhelplaw.com and we can get with you and walk you through that process. All right.
Because the application it's complex. The application is it's a substantial amount of paperwork as well, and it can be cumbersome. And I know that you are more than willing to take on that and try to help people through, because there are going to be so many of these that are filed, Travis. You want to make sure everything is on the up and up, and you're doing everything correctly when you go try to file for this, because this is the difference and could be the difference between you staying alive as a business or you having to shutter your doors forever.
Absolutely well said. And we're used to dealing with government bureaucracies day in and day out. We deal with the Internal Revenue Service, and the SBA is going to really be no different. They've already changed the application within the last 7 days. They've changed it 3 times. So if that gives you any indication of, I'm not sure there's anybody behind the curtain quite yet, because they're just getting automated declines right out of the gate, people that are doing these. So what it means is once the dust settles and they start figuring out how to administer this thing, I think you're going to need a strong advocate to push this through, because otherwise it's just delays. If you do it yourself and you mess it up, it's just going to delay the process.
The last one that I have for you is just for anyone that is still trying to file their taxes right now.
Yes.
Kind of walk us through some of the extensions that we have now and what some good general rules are for someone that still has yet to file.
Absolutely. All right. Well, the biggest one is the April 15th deadline for individual returns has been extended to July the 15th, and your payments, if you owe for that 1040 return, have also been extended to the new filing deadline of July the 15th. Now, a lot of my clients are self-employed, and they rarely file right on the date anyway. They ask for an extension of that. You can still ask for an extension to October the 15th of this year to file, but your payment is going to be due still July the 15th. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind. You might be able to extend your filing deadline to October 15th. As far as we know at this moment, you're still going to have to pay by July the 15th. And people are scratching their head, I'm sure, going, well, how do I know what I'm supposed to, pay by April the 15th? And that's easy. It would be your quarterly payments, if you have to pay those, whatever you paid for in 2018 would be what you need to pay by the July 15th deadline there. You do need to, if you're going to make that extension request, you do need to make it by by July the 15th. Okay, so the extension request deadline is now July 15th. So you're still going to want to keep working, as we talked about early here in the spot, that if you do a refund, they are still working on that, and that is still a very high priority thing, and you're going to need it for the stimulus check. So keep working on those things if the government is going to end up owing you money. Now, some of the quarterly deadlines have also been pushed back here as well. So you don't necessarily have to, you would have already had to pay your fourth quarter 2019 estimated tax payment by 2019 by January the 15th already. So that one's passed. There's no extension of that one. But these other ones have been extended. Still looking for a lot of guidance on that from the IRS.
Okay. All right. Well, Travis, this has been a lot of information, good information as well. I just want to stress that if you are going to apply for these, you need to have a professional do that. Where can we direct them towards you? A phone number or a website to get in touch with you?
Yeah, the website is SBA Help. That's HELP LAW.com, and there's a few messages on there to kind of guide you through what we're going to need. But the most important part of it is setting a time there where we can call you back and do a little strategy session on which one of these loans is ultimately probably going to be best for you and what the process looks like. And you can also call us at 918-268-7190.
Travis, thank you so much for the extended amount of time today to clear up some of that picture for us. I greatly appreciate you, and thank you everything that you do, and we'll definitely be in touch, sir.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. Be well out there, all right?
Absolutely. You as well, and your staff as well. That's Travis Watkins.